Welcome to Destiny 2. I hope you like my little intro there. That's just a little taste of the first 3 campaigns that we've got for Destiny 2. Now, a lot of that stuff is going to be going into what they're calling the Destiny Content Vault. So you've got basically a month and a half to play these first 3 expansions. So what I'm going to do is talk to you about the order in which you should do things first of all, which campaigns and things like that. I'm not going to give you any spoilers of anything at all. I'm just going to give you the best direction for you to start off in. So the first thing you're presented with is the character creation screen. Now we've got 3 types of Guardian that you can choose. You can either go for the Titan, who's kind of the big burly soldier who punches things and asks questions later. Next you have the Hunter. They're not so much brawn as stealth and speed. So if that suits your playstyle, go for a Hunter. And then finally you've got a Warlock, who's kind of in between really, but that's selling them short, to be perfectly honest. You shouldn't define a Warlock by not being a Hunter or not being a Titan. They're the class with the most tricks up their sleeves, with tons of interesting exotics and awesome power to boot. Don't stress too much though about which class that you want to pick, because you have 3 slots. You can have 1 for each class, and believe me, Destiny is a very different game for each class. The play style changes, you get so many different exotics, you get different gear pieces, so you know, you're looking at 3 ways, distinct ways of playing the game, so just pick the one that your heart desires to start off with and don't worry about it. Next you've got the cosmetic screen. The only thing about this to remember is once you've picked your look, that's it, it's locked in. If you want to change the look of that character, the only way you can do it is to delete the character. So make sure you're happy with what you've picked, and then we jump in. Bungie have done a nice little introductory mission here to get you into the spirit of things, get you used to the controls, the basic controls and all those kinds of things. It's relatively easy to complete and you will enjoy it, but once you've completed that, you head back to the tower. So just to have a quick breakdown for you, this is your main screen that everybody calls the Director. So you can see all your destinations on here, all the icons that show you exactly what's going on, but we've only just started the game, so I wouldn't get too swamped by everything that you can see here. When you're first starting the game, you won't be able to access every destination. You've got to get a certain amount of XP to build your Guardian up so they can visit different planets. But what we'll do, we'll have a little look at the tower map once you arrive. Now you'll see here these round icons, they're basically the landing zones, so you can click on those and you'll land directly there. You've got 3 main areas to the tower, but there's only landing zones in 2 of them. Don't ask me why. You've got the main area here called the Courtyard, and you'll see each icon represents a different vendor. So you've got Master Rahul, he decrypts all your engrams. You have the Postmaster, or Caddy or KD 5530, and that's where all your stuff that you forget to pick up whilst wandering around in the world, it all gets shoveled back into them there. Could be a he, could be a she, who knows? It's a robot. But anyway, it'll hold up to 21 separate items, and you will get a warning if your Postmaster is full, so you got to zip back to the tower to sort it out and pick up the stuff that you've forgotten. The EV stands for Eververse, which is Tess Everest. Basically, that is where you go and spend your Bright Dust that you acquire as you're playing, or Silver, which is the in-game currency that you can buy for actual money that you earned with your blood, sweat and tears. The other icons to have a little look at here, we've got the blue icons are the basically like the faction vendors, I suppose you could consider them to be. You have Zavala here, who's in charge of the Vanguard. You've got Shax, who's in charge of the Crucible, which is the player versus player, or PvP, as it gets referred to. And we've also got Banshee, who's the gunsmith, so he's got lots of nice mods and things like that. Aside from all the vendors though, the place you'll probably be visiting the most is your vault here. So this is basically where you put stuff when you're full in your pockets. This is like a cupboard where you can stick all your stuff. Now you've got 500 slots in here that you can fill up with whatever you want. The reason why they're all darkened out is because I've got no room in my Guardian at the moment to put in any of these things. But you can see I've got enough room to put in power weapons and things like that. So you could just drop objects in here when you access the vault. you open your character, and then you can pop anything in the vault that you don't particularly want. So, for example, let's get rid of this. I'll pop that in the vault, and I'll pop that in the vault, and what else can we pop in the vault to make some space? Let's get rid of that as well. So as you can see, what I'm doing is making space in my character screens so that I can pick up more stuff out in the world. Ooh, 1053, that's pretty good. You can sort how you view the things. There's a default sort, which is basically by season and things like that, or you can do it with the newest ones. So the things I most recently put in, look, you can see them there. They're the first ones. So you've got 500 slots in there for you to fill up, but believe me, you do fill it up very quick. Mainly with shaders. They've got to change that system, it drives you around the bend. Anyway, that's your vault. Right, let's continue having a look at the tower map. So here we are in the Annex landing zone. So from here you can access all the other vendors that you can see. Hello, Guardian. So if we run on through here, first of all, you can see the first guy we come across is the Drifter. There he is, mucking about, look. Now what the Drifter does, he's basically the Gambit vendor, and he'll give you bounties and things like that for you to use in Gambit. Sorry to talk over you there, Drifty Poos, but I'm explaining things. And anything that you haven't done or any quest steps will pop up with them as you go along. But you can see there, here's all the Gambit information. The next area we'll have a little look at is called the Bazaar. Now there's two vendors in this area. We have Ikora Ray, who's the Warlock Vanguard, and we also have Soraya Hawthorne, and she's the clan steward, so she's basically all to do with clans and stuff. If you want to join a clan, she's the one you'll be dealing with. Ikora, aside from welcoming you on your journey, doesn't have anything to do after that, really, when you reach the end game, so not too much happening with her. And you can see old Soraya Hawthorne up there. Oh look, and there's the Traveller. What are you? We don't know. The final area is called the Hangar. Now, in the hangar, we have two vendors. We have Saint 14. Now, he's not somebody you're going to see very much unless, of course, you're doing Trials of Osiris. That's the big PvP endgame activity, and he gives you the bounties and all that kind of thing for that too. You can see him here standing under his ship. Hello, hello. And the other vendor we've got, who's rather important to us at this stage in the game, it's somebody called Amanda Holiday, but we'll be coming back to see her shortly. Now, when you first arrived in the tower after completing the initial mission, you probably realised there was loads of things flashing all over the place telling you to go here and go there and do this and do that. So what I would recommend you do is just go and visit each vendor in the tower, the ones that I've just spoken to you about. You will see it just tells you to go and see Zavala, and then it'll tell you to go and see Banshee, and finally it'll tell you to go and see Amanda Holiday. She's the one that we're talking to now. You will get them asking you to do strikes and things like that, but I wouldn't bother. I'd leave all that until a bit later, because each of them has their own quest step. Don't worry about that. We want to go and see Amanda Holiday first of all. So when you first look at her screen, you can see she sells sparrows and things like that. But the most important thing, we've got the 3 campaigns at the top here. These campaigns are the ones we are looking at. Now keep it plain and simple and build up on each one at a time. Don't go accepting all 3 at once. Pick the Red War first, and then you'll have that on your director as your main thrust of events before you get going. You'll see the Red War logo will appear very tinily next to a destination on the main destination map, but when then you zoom on the actual map itself of a particular area, you'll see the massive logo for the Red War. You just click on that and it'll take you to the opening homecoming mission, and then it'll dot itself around the solar system, giving you different tasks to do. Occasionally it will be a brand new mission, or it may be a strike to do, or it may be do some adventures, or go and see this person, or go and see that person. The whole mission is structured to give you a basic introduction, and also lots of cool weapons and new exotics to Destiny 2. And then once you've done the Red campaign, and you've partaken of a few strikes and so on, and maybe you might have even dabbled in a bit of Crucible. Once you've completed the Red War campaign though, then go and do the Curse of Osiris. This is the most maligned of all the DLCs that came along. A lot of people weren't very happy with it. They didn't like the Mercury area. It was very, very small, and initially you couldn't even get on your Sparrow in it, which is a bit of a bummer. But now that's changed. You can flit around on your Sparrow on it. It's got some nice adventures there. It's a beautiful looking area, particularly now when you go there and you can see the pyramid ships hovering ominously on the horizon. It's fantastic. beautiful looking. Of course, this is one of the destinations that is going to be going in November, so this is why I'm saying do the Curse of Osiris, because that's going to be going as well. Once you've completed that, then go on and finally do the Warmind campaign. Now then, this one is all based on Mars. You'll be introduced to some characters who are going to be continuing and going through Beyond Light, so it's well worth you doing this particular one, because you get to meet Anna Bray, and you'll get to meet Rasputin, sort of, and you'll be introduced to the Mars area, and there's loads of great strikes on Mars as well, like I said, all of which will be going away on November the 10th when Beyond Light drops. So those are the first 3 things that I'd recommend you do. That's going to take you a good amount of time, and you're going to thoroughly enjoy yourself. It's excellent. And of course, we've got Forsaken and we've got Shadowkeep that you need to complete too. If you're a Games Pass owner, you've got access to both of those now, so I'd really recommend you try and get those finished as well. You've got 47 days until Beyond Light drops, although there's no rush, I suppose. But they do warrant a separate video because they're so massive and so intricate, so keep an eye out for one of those from me. And of course, finally as well, we have the Season of Arrivals. Now that's the current season in Destiny 2. This ends in 47 days. And a brief word about the seasons. You've got something called a Season Pass. You've got a top track to the Season Pass. All this is free to everybody, so everything you can see on this top line of the season you can earn. But the bottom track is the paid track, so that costs £10 in the UK or whatever it is in your particular region. You do get a lot of gear with this as well, like access to the new exotics, Traveler's Chosen, and the Witherhoard grenade launcher. But it is worth noting that with past season exotics, they have dropped into the world pool, and you can actually purchase past season exotics from Master Rahul with an exotic cipher, although they are rather harder to come by. Now that's a lot of content to cover. You've got all those 3 DLCs that are going into the DCV on November the 10th. You've also got Forsaken, you've got Shadowkeep, and then you've got the Season of the Arrivals as well. Now whether you should go and purchase that pass, as you've only got 47 days left, is debatable, particularly if you want to finish all the other stuff as well, so that's entirely up to you on how much you're going to be playing Destiny. But as you can see, there's an awful lot of content to get through. I'm constantly doing loads of Destiny 2 content covering various aspects of the game, so if you want to be notified of one of my new videos dropping out into the digital world, click the subscribe and the notifications button, and also drop me a like and a comment below. That would be really welcome and really helpful to me in the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to jabbering in your ear again very soon. Sausage out.